What's good, everybody? Next, we're back with some more World of Warships Legends. Today we'll go over carriers and their impact to the game so far. These ships are mobile airports with seemingly limitless planes. They are great at large-scale recon, able to track enemy movements across the entire map. Destroyers are still better at sustained vision on specific targets, while carriers are better at tracking a team's movements. If the player is really good, they can keep a target spotted by air and harass them. If the player is not so good, they will lose waves of planes by harassing the wrong ships. Building towards AA can show value, but it does not feel as impactful as it should. Cruisers tend to have the best chance of knocking planes out and dodging their attacks. The problem with using a full AA build on a cruiser is that you reduce your other utility. For example, battleships can get harassed by the planes more than cruisers because they are easier to spot from a distance and less maneuverable. Destroyers can be forced to pop smoke or deal with being spotted with useless AA guns. The planes also go undetected if you are in smoke and a teammate is not nearby enough to spot the planes for you. This means teamwork is that much more important when a carrier is involved. Good carrier players will stay relatively near their team. This keeps their planes more involved in the action because less time is spent flying from and to targets. Great concealment also means you are hard to spot, and having no primary guns means your team will be your best defense if you are getting attacked. Carriers have some of the best AA and can drop off fighter planes to protect allies or keep vision on an area. Before this ship class, we often had teams balling up into a single group of ships instead of creating flanks and crossfires. Now we have the same thing, but it's almost like the idea is we're protecting ourselves. Like there's a purpose to it. But people were bowling up before, so it's like the same thing, but now it's almost reinforced by this plane mechanic. So that's a little weird. The downside of this behavior means that destroyers and anybody trying to play the objective is going to struggle more because you will need your team to help you defend yourself as you're completing these objectives. Whatever the objective is, if your team is too far away and a carrier is involved, you're gonna have a harder time. Even with maxed out AA, planes can still take a significant amount of effort to shoot down. The major downside I've experienced playing multiple ship types against carriers is if you have gotten this far in the video, please consider a like, subscribe, and follow. There's always more content to come. Thanks. It's a cheap, actually free way to help the channel and help us grow. Appreciate you. So the major downside I've experienced playing multiple ship types against carriers is that they seem to have an endless amount of planes, no matter how many your team shoots down. Ships in smoke cannot spot planes. I get it, but it used to be possible during the test event. HE bombs can be devastating to destroyers, and the speed of planes makes dodging them difficult. Torpedo planes can cause consistent damage to battleships, considering they can have a very hard time maneuvering against a clever player. Cruisers have the least to worry about when facing carriers, but effectively repelling planes may require you to alter your build. The major upside to having carriers in the game is that it makes for a far more complex match and a broader view of enemy movements. I like the idea of, even if on a subconscious level, people are going to have to learn about supporting each other. This is a team game. Very few solo ships can deal with being focused by a carrier. Some examples are the Kutuzov. It has both smoke and can achieve above 100 rated AA. Like, I've got it to 100 and then kept adding stuff. It's one of the best. The Gene Bart can also achieve a 100 rated AA. There are even some destroyers that can get high rating or hundreds, but on a cruiser or battleship, 100 is incredibly better than on a destroyer. The planes can absorb so much damage, and the DDs cannot spot them solo in smoke. The best destroyers can either outrun, dodge the planes, or have an abundance of smoke. That would be French or British. The Fletcher and the Akazuki can achieve high AA ratings, but sitting in smoke can negate that bonus. Also, carriers don't hesitate to torpedo smoke. That being said, these new commanders, do they add value? Considering planes can take a while to take down, the Japanese commander is of more value in my opinion. He increases the damage output of your anti-air guns, and it has more punch in my opinion. The US commander increases the range, but even at max rank, that would be a marginal improvement. On my Kutuzov, I had both commanders at rank 11, right? I had the US commander at rank 11. My AA range went from 6.3 kilometers to 6.6. That's just not significant enough when planes are so fast that you'll just wish you had a different inspiration that helps more with other aspects of your gameplay. They close that gap in no time. Those planes move really fast. What are your thoughts so far on carriers? Do you feel like they need to get buffed, nerfed, or are they in a good space so far? I like the idea of spotting ribbons being added to the game. And thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, follow. Always more to come. Peace.